Use code PAID10 to get 10% off your next order on Advanced GG. The Something New hand cannon is now available during the Solstice event 2024 in Destiny 2 The Final Shape. Now the one thing about 120 hand cannons is that the handling and reload speed are always very low on these, but what if I were to tell you that there is a perk combination that you can roll on the Something New hand cannon that will give you 100 handling and 100 reload speed without even having to get a kill? Sounds pretty nice, right? Well, Guardians, let's talk about it.
Yo, it's time to subscribe to Paid to Be Famous. What are you doing?
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous.
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous. Like the video, come on.
Hell
you know
yeah.
the drill.
Button.
And slap that like button.
The Something New hand cannon is a returning hand cannon. It's been available 2 or 3 times before in the past. It is a legendary kinetic hand cannon and it does stasis damage, so that makes it pretty unique. It's an aggressive frame firing at 120 rounds per minute, so we can compare it to things like the Criminal's Dagger, True Prophecy, Igneous Hammer, Steady Hand, the Loud Lullaby hand cannon. The Something New hand cannon has better stats than Loud Lullaby, True Prophecy, Steady Hand, which are all very good hand cannons. The only 2 hand cannons on this list that beat it out in the stat department are the Igneous Hammer and the Criminal's Dagger. So as you can see by the graphic right here, it's definitely not a bad hand cannon at all when it comes to the stat package. But as always, the trait perks is where the true potential lies in a weapon. Now, the Something New hand cannon for 2024 actually comes with a new origin trait that it didn't have before. First up, we have Dream Work, which was previously on this weapon. States that once per reload, assist or assisted final blows, partially refill the weapon from reserves and increase the reload speed for a short duration. Bows receive a faster draw time. Community research states that assists on targets previously hit by the weapon will refill 66% of the magazine from reserves. Now, this is not a bad origin trait at all. I just don't think it's that beneficial on a primary weapon. The Dreamwork origin trait does roll on the Crowning Duologue rocket launcher. I think on something like a rocket launcher, this origin trait is way more beneficial and can help you keep ammo in that magazine. But when it comes to this hand cannon, I would skip on Dreamwork. And then for the other origin trait that rolls on it is Nadir Focus. It's not a new origin trait, but it is new to this hand cannon. States that sustained fire increases accuracy and range, increases lunge distance for swords, and projectile velocity for launchers. Now, Nadir Focus is one of the best origin traits that you can get on a primary weapon. Nadir Focus stacks up to 5 times, and when it comes to the range, you're going to get 2 range per stack. So at max stacks, that's going to give you an extra 10 to your range, and it's going to give you 7.5% decreased accuracy cone size. And you literally don't have to do anything different, jump through any different hoops. You literally just have to shoot the gun and you'll be getting those benefits. And when it comes to something like PvP, Nadir Focus, like I said, is one of the best origin traits you can get. Now, when it comes to the trait perks, on the left side of the screen, I have last year's perks that are rolled, and on the right side are the refreshed perks that we get for 2024. And it looks like in the first column, they took away Pugilist, Triple Tap, and Discord, and in the last column they took away Golden Tricorn, Harmony, and Encore, which, to be honest with you, I'm not too mad about any of these choices because we still have a lot of good options to choose from. In that first column of trait perks, you got Rapid Hit. Rapid precision hits temporarily increase stability and reload speed. This stacks 5 times, and at a 5 times stack, that's going to give you 25 extra stability and 60 extra reload. And seeing as how 120 hand cannons typically have very low stability, Rapid Hit is going to be a very good perk to have in this first column. Then we have Feeding Frenzy. Each rapid kill with this weapon progressively increases reload speed for a short time. This also stacks 5 times, and at a 5 times stack, this is going to give you a 100 reload speed stat. This is a nice perk for reloading, but we also do have Subsistence in this column, where it states that defeating targets partially reloads the magazine from reserves. Going to refill 10% of the magazine from reserves on weapon kills. So in my opinion, I would say Subsistence is a better option for keeping ammo in your mag automatically, as opposed to having to stop and reload. Yes, Feeding Frenzy will be a pretty damn fast reload, but I would rather go Subsistence. Then up next, we have a new trait perk called To the Pain. While this weapon is equipped, taking damage increases handling and aim assist until the weapon is stowed. Taking more damage increases its effect. Now, we still do not have exact numbers on how much aim assist and handling that you get, but to be honest with you, this hand cannon already has a base aim assist of 60, but if you compare it to something like the Igneous Hammer, which has a base aim assist of 69, it's not too far off from 60, so all you gotta do is slap on a targeting adjuster mod on your helmet, and you're gonna be right up there with Igneous Hammer. So To the Pain, decent perk. but I probably wouldn't take it on this hand cannon. Then we have Elemental Capacitor, increases stats based on the currently equipped super. Solar subclass is going to give you 50 reload speed. Arc subclass is going to give you 50 handling. Void subclass is going to give you 20 stability. Strand is going to give you 20 airborne effectiveness. And Stasis is going to give you 20 recoil direction and a 20% reduced ADS movement speed penalty. Now, if you guys just main one subclass in particular, this is a very good perk. You do get a huge boost to that handling stat. And if you like to take to the sky a lot and you're on the Strand subclass, you can get that boost to your airborne effectiveness. Personally, I don't like being locked to just one subclass, which is why I'm going to pass on Elemental Capacitor in this column. Then up next, we have Demolitionist. Kills with this weapon generate grenade energy, and then when you throw your grenade, you'll actually reload this weapon from reserves. This is a very nice perk to have, especially in PvE. Grenade spam is king in PvE, especially those prismatic grenades. So Demolitionist is definitely something to consider. And then last but not least, we have Snapshot. Gives you a faster time to aim down sights. Passively decreases the ADS animation by 50% on primary weapons. So like I said, not a lot of handling on 120s, but if you have Snapshot, it's going to make this hand cannon feel really snappy in your hands. Then in the last column of trait perks, we have Explosive Payload. Projectiles create an area of effect detonation on impact. Explosive Payload is a very good perk on hand cannons when it comes to PvE. This is going to increase your total damage by 15% of the weapon's body shot damage. For crits, the overall increase is roughly equal to 15% divided by the crit multiplier. So essentially, you're walking around with a damage perk activated at all times without needing to do anything but fire the gun. And when it comes to PvP, Explosive Payload is not what it used to be, so stay away from Explosive in the Crucible. Then up next we have Headstone. Remember, this is a stasis weapon, so we can get Headstone on it. Precision Final Blows spawn a stasis crystal at the victim's location. And you do have things on the stasis subclass and the prismatic subclass that increases the size and damage when shattering a crystal. So Headstone is pretty damn good for ad clear if you ask me. Then we have Frenzy. Being in combat for an extended time increases damage handling and reload until you are out of combat. This is a very good perk in PvP and in PvE. This is actually the perk that I was mentioning in the beginning of the video. This is going to give you 100 handling and 100 reload speed, as well as that 15% increase to damage. And it lasts for about 7 seconds. Now the base time to kill on the Something New hand cannon in PvP is 1 second with 3 crits, but with Frenzy active, it drops it to 2 crits in one body. So Frenzy is definitely something to consider in both PvE and in PvP. Then up next we have Kill Clip. Reloading after a kill grants increased damage. You're going to get that 25% increase to damage. Now you will be able to 2-tap with this, but the Guardian has to be tier 5 resilience or under. And a lot of the good players in PvP nowadays are running 10 resilience or like definitely higher than 5 resilience. So you're not going to get that 2-tap too consistently, but it is possible. And if you do get that 2-tap off, that's a 0.5 second time to kill. Insanely fast in the Crucible. But anything above tier 5, it's still going to remain that 1 second time to kill. It's just going to reduce the amount of crits. Like tier 10 resilience with kill clip, you still need 2 crits in one body. But tier 9 to tier 6, you only need 1 crit in 2 bodies. So that is something to consider. Then up next we have Precision Instrument. Dealing sustained damage increases precision damage. This is probably the perk that most PvP players are going to go for. Now Precision Instrument isn't going to change the time to kill, but it is going to allow you to hit less crits. The only thing about Precision Instrument is that we already have it on the Igneous Hammer. We just got this on the new version of the Criminal's Dagger, so I don't know why you would want to waste your time farming out another Precision Instrument 120 hand cannon when the Igneous and the Criminals already has better base stats. Then up next we have Wellspring. Kills with this weapon generate ability energy. The energy is divided between your uncharged abilities. On a weapon kill, it's going to grant 8% ability energy split equally amongst all uncharged abilities. And then last but not least, we have Vorpal Weapon. Deals increased damage against mini-bosses, bosses, vehicles, and players while in their super in the Crucible. And this is a primary weapon, so this is going to get an automatic 20% increase to damage. And in PvP, it's a 60% increase to damage. It's a pretty nice perk for not having to do anything. You don't need a kill or anything like that, but I don't know why you would be damaging bosses with your hand cannon. I guess you can make the argument that this season we do have Overload hand cannon, and champions do count as a boss or mini boss, so you can get extra damage there. But I would pass on Vorpal Weapon if I were you. So Guardians, what is the god roll for the Something New hand cannon in PvP? Well, I would go with Hammerforged Rifling, Accurized Rounds, Rapid Hit, and Frenzy. And of course, we got to have that range masterwork. That is going to get you up to 38.8 meters before you guys see damage drop off. Now to put that in perspective, on the Igneous Hammer Adept, if you get Hammer Forged, Ricochet, Keep Away, Precision Instrument, Range Masterwork, that is going to put it at 40 meters. So essentially, Something New is only fallen short by 1.2 meters. But the benefit to the Something New hand cannon is that you don't have to go flawless in trials. So that is something to consider if you guys aren't a PvP main. You can get a pretty decent 120 hand cannon without going flawless. And when it comes to PvE, I would go with something like Hammerforged Rifling, Tactical Mag to boost the magazine, Demolitionist and Wellspring so you can spam your abilities, or maybe perhaps go with Demolitionist and Headstone in PvE. But Guardians, those are just my opinions. Let me know what you guys think about this hand cannon down in the comments. Are you guys going to spend any time farming out a new version of the Something New hand cannon? Let's talk about it down in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. Leave a like if you enjoy the content. Follow me over on Twitch for the live streams, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.